In 1945, the world stood at a crossroads. Cities lay in ruins, empires were exhausted, and the old order was collapsing. From the rubble of global war, a new superpower was emerging, one that would not rule through colonies, but through influence, alliances, and the quiet machinery of global systems. This is the story of how the United States rose, decade by decade, by weakening rivals, shaping events, and turning crises into opportunities. Germany and Japan had challenged the European colonial powers, but lost the war after U.S. intervention. Their cities burned, their armies defeated, their governments dismantled. But America did something unprecedented. Instead of crushing its enemies forever, it restructured them to integrate its new order. New constitutions, new markets, new alliances. Germany and Japan were reborn not as rivals, but as pillars of an American LED world. Their militaries were limited. Their security depended on Washington. Their economies were tied to U.S. trade. Two former adversaries became two of America's strongest anchors in Europe and Asia. Across the world, colonial empires were dying. Britain and France emerged from the war victorious but exhausted. Their colonies demanded freedom. Their treasuries were empty. The United States stepped forward with a new message: self-determination, independence, human rights. A moral vision and a strategic one which will weaken old powers. When Britain and France tried to reassert control, the United States refused to back them. The Suez Crisis of 1956 marked the end of European imperial dominance. As old empires retreated, a new kind of influence filled the vacuum: aid, loans, military bases, and diplomatic pressure. America didn't take colonies, it took the commanding heights of global leadership. A new rival rose in the East, the Soviet Union. Two visions, two systems, two superpowers locked in a struggle for the soul of the world. The United States built alliances NATO in Europe, partnerships across Asia, influence in Latin America and Africa. Wars erupted in Korea, Vietnam, Afghanistan. Not direct clashes between superpowers, but battlegrounds where ideologies collided. In the 1980s, the United States played its most decisive card. Working with Saudi Arabia, it helped drive down global oil prices. The Soviet economy, dependent on oil exports, buckled under the pressure. By 1991, the Soviet Union collapsed. The Cold War ended. America stood alone at the top of the world. With the Soviet Union gone, a new era began. The United States turned its attention to the Middle East. When Iraq invaded Kuwait in 1990, America led a global coalition to push Saddam Hussein back. Sanctions followed, weakening Iraq for more than a decade. In 2003, the U.S. invaded again, toppling Saddam and reshaping the region. Libya fell in 2011. Yemen descended into war. Across the Middle East, old regimes collapsed, new conflicts erupted, and American influence, direct or indirect, shaped the outcomes. Russia re-emerged, wounded but defiant. In 2014, it seized Crimea. America sanctioned. The European Union, BRICS, seemed to rival U.S. hegemony, however, in 2022, when Russia invaded Ukraine. The United States responded with sweeping economic pressure, military aid to Kyiv, and a global coalition aimed at isolating Moscow. Europe, once dependent on Russian gas, turned to American energy. German industries faced rising costs. The euro weakened. For Washington, the crisis had a dual effect. Russia's military was strained, and Europe's economic and security dependence on the United States deepened. In West Africa, a wave of coups swept across the Sahel. Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger, one by one, governments expelled French forces and rejected Paris's influence. France's decades-long dominance in the region crumbled. The United States moved carefully, engaging new leaders, maintaining counter-terrorism ties, and preserving access to strategic minerals. As France's footprint shrank, America's flexibility grew. Iran pushed for regional power. Venezuela resisted Western pressure. South Africa aligned with BRICS, but each faced internal crises: sanctions, economic collapse, political instability, energy shortages. BRICS expanded but struggled to form a unified alternative to the dollar. For Washington, these fractures slowed the rise of any coordinated challenge to its global financial dominance. And now Iran, if defeated, will pave the way for a new period of unchallenged prosperity and growth for the U.S.